The first tip is what I call the wind-up. This is the moments leading up to the jump. Once you've unhooked, move your weight onto your front foot and move the sail back. This will get your body in the right position and the sail ready to be thrown. When I was first learning, I struggled to get the board to rotate and had a hard time even jumping. I solved the problem by getting my weight further forward before going for the jump. If you're too far back, it's much harder to pop the board out of the water and get the rig in the right place. The next tip is where you should throw the sail as you jump. So as I jump, I'm trying to get the sail as far as I can across my body, but without powering it up on either side. To do this, you have to throw the sail into the apparent wind. If you don't know what apparent wind is, here's a quick explanation. So if you're sailing on a broad reach and this is where the wind is coming from, we call this the true wind. And then as you're sailing along, you create this kind of fake wind that we call the induced wind. In roughly between these two angles of wind is the apparent wind. The faster you're going, the closer the apparent wind is to the induced wind. And the slower you're going, the closer the apparent wind is to the true wind. Okay, so with that in mind, I said that you need to throw the sail into the apparent wind. So take a look at where I throw the sail in this clip. The camera is exactly where the apparent wind is, and that's where I throw the sail. If you look closely, you can see that the sail is fully depowered at this moment. This does two things. The first is that it releases the pressure from the mast base, which means the board can easily be jumped out of the water. The second is that it allows you to move the sail fully across your body and onto the windward side to get that rotation going. To keep the sail depowered, it's a very similar action to the start of a helitack or upwind 360, where you keep the back hand close to your body and really extend your front arm. You can actually get the board to rotate by getting the nose to catch in the water, and the board will automatically spin. You don't have to jump the full 180. In fact, you don't even have to jump 90 degrees. If you're going fast enough, as long as the fin is out of the water, you can jump and rotate as little as 45 degrees and the nose catching will do the rest of the work. If you do this and you manage to get the sail across your body, you'll start to get the feeling of the nose catching and the feeling of rotating. So another common theme in all windsurfing moves is that your vision can help a lot. If you turn your head and look into the direction of the rotation as you jump, there's more chance everything else will follow. It sounds a little bit like magic, but in reality it makes sense. Even if you turn your head right now, you might notice that without thinking about it, your shoulders will likely follow. It's the same in the Flaka. If you turn your head and look over your shoulder, your body will naturally rotate this way. Everything I've previously mentioned kind of relies on this one overriding principle, which is that you have to commit. I used to have a lot of crashes without getting any rotation and usually falling in backwards. I remember the exact moment where I fully committed to throwing the sail aggressively across my body and got the feeling of the nose catching and spinning. And I feel like that was my kind of breakthrough moment. It's much easier to commit in conditions you're comfortable in and on kit you feel comfortable on. So if that's an option for you, then it's going to make life much easier.